If you would have told me a year ago that a bunch of the guys at Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson would all end up on adventure touring bikes, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But here we are getting ready to go out to Joshua Tree on our maiden voyage as a group. There was definitely a chain reaction of adventure touring motorcycle bike buying that happened in the recent months at Laidlaw's HD. So about 4 or 5 months ago, I picked up my HDPanAmerica, and then a few months later, Nick sold his Lowrider S and picked up his HDPanAmerica. Then Jamie and Andrew had to get theirs. Jamie ended up getting a KTM 890, and Andrew picked up the HDPanAmerica Special as well. So we decided to take a day trip to break them in properly out at Joshua Tree. Something not too difficult to get our feet wet a little bit. Jamie, Andrew, and myself have had quite a bit of off-road experience, but Nick, although he's had a ton of on-road experience, including a lot of track days and whatnot, he has not been off-road yet. So it's definitely a little bit of a different technique when you're riding off-road, especially with a heavy adventure touring bike. The route that we took to get out there wasn't anything too groundbreaking. We met in a location that was centrally located to all of us around the Ontario-Chino area, and we jumped on the 60 and headed east. After a while, the 60 connects to the 10, so we continued to follow the 10 out east towards Palm Springs area. Right when you start to see all the electricity generating windmills, you hang a left on the 62 and head north. On the 62, you'll pass Yucca Valley and you'll soon enter Joshua Tree. We entered in through what's called the west entrance, which I think is more accurately described as the northwest entrance. The other entrance is located on the southeast side of the national park, and you'd find it if you continue to follow the 10 all the way past Palm Springs and Palm Desert. Personally, I think the northwest side of the national park is a lot more scenic and beautiful. You've got more of the stereotypical landscape that people identify with Joshua Tree, like all your huge Joshua trees everywhere and your boulder style mountains. Joshua Tree has a history that's very indicative of the Wild West. A lot of cattle ranchers and gold miners tried to make a living out here. A lot of the historical remains that now has become an attraction for visitors include abandoned gold mines and old leftover mining equipment. Joshua Tree gets its name, of course, from all the yucca trees growing everywhere. Although it's unsubstantiated, they say Joshua Tree gets its name from some of the early settlers that moved through the area that named them after the biblical Joshua, and that the branches on the trees symbolize Joshua's limbs. There's a lot of things that attract visitors to Joshua Tree every year. For one, the band U2 had a major studio album named after the park. And two, I personally think that it's just a very unique landscape that a lot of people find very intriguing. These Joshua trees can't be found in too many places of the world. In fact, they're only known to be growing in 2 places here in the Mojave Desert and some places right outside of Jerusalem. That and the rock formations are just really unique here as well. It looks like a big giant stacked a bunch of boulders on top of one another. It's almost hard to believe that these rock piles formed naturally. Alright, so we're out here, we got the crew together, we're headed into Joshua Tree here. This is our last gas up before we get into Joshua Tree and start hitting some off-road. So we got 3 Pan-Americas and 1 KTM here, and now we're probably just northwest of Joshua Tree now. So we're doing our last gas up and heading in.
Does it hold you at that RPM?
There were a few different dirt roads that we did while we were there. The main one we did was called Geology Tour Road, and it was a pretty simple dirt road, especially leading down to the loop area. It was very well graded. There was quite a bit of sand the further you got in, which made things a little bit difficult on the heavy adventure bikes, but it wasn't too bad. Once you got down into the loop area, it became a little bit more technical, but still I would say that overall this road was a beginner to maybe light intermediate road for us.
It's soft sandy, it ain't gonna hurt anything.
Yeah, I was trying to get over towards the left where I thought there might be more traction. Went through the middle, and the front just like, I even had no death grip. It just was like, up, and then went down.
Look at the glorious soft bags. Yeah, you good though? Did you fall, or you just kind of just dropped the bike?
I fell.
Oh, okay.
I went into my shoulder, but my jacket did a good job, so.
Nice.
Yeah,
job,
baby.
We got it. Is your camera on that side?
No, it's up top.
Oh, good.
Alright, so we're out here in the heart of Joshua Tree here. We're going south on Geology Road, which is a cool little off-road, dirt road area. And hit some sand. Not too bad though. Nick had a little bit of a lay down, but yeah,
Did you hear it?
Yeah, we were talking. He's all, oh gosh! And then I look at my rearview mirror and like I see a big puff of like dust. And then I'm all, dude, did you go down, bro? Yeah, I went down.
Yeah, I went down. That's amazing.
Yeah. So Nick had a little bit of a lay down, so he broke in his bike the way it should be broken in. But yeah, you definitely have the classic scenery, the stereotypical Joshua Tree scenery out where we're at right now. The big boulder mountains, a lot of Joshua trees everywhere. Dang, this is rad valley out here. Yeah, we're gonna keep heading down this way, and then we're gonna head back up, see what other dirt roads. We're gonna try to like do all the dirt roads in Joshua Tree that are like marked roads that are, you know, legal and everything. Alright, just finished with some lunch here and stopped off at kind of the middle of this trail. I think it's called Geology Trail. We're down where it kind of makes a loop, and we're just headed through this canyon. Really good trail for adventure riding. We're really happy. We really didn't know what to expect, but yeah, not too hard, but at the same time, you know, it's pretty narrow and you feel like you can really, you know, flex the muscles of the adventure touring bikes a little bit, and the scenery is amazing as well. So yeah, we're pretty happy with our Joshua Tree visit today. The weather's perfect as well. We're, what is it, like the 21st of December, something like that. So yeah, really happy with the day so far. All right, Nick, first time off-road on the Pan America. I gotta say, you're doing very good for a first-time person off-road, you know, let alone a bike that weighs 559 pounds. What's it like out there?
Yeah, as you said, probably not the best bike to have your first dirt experience on. It's a little bit more difficult than it would be on something probably a lot lighter and a little bit shorter. But overall, it's really not that bad. The bike has a lot of torque, and so, you know, if you're just looking real far ahead and on a road like this where there's not really any insane obstacles, you know, we're not like, you know, rock crawling or something, obviously. You know, if you keep your eyes ahead and you keep focusing there rather than what's immediately in front of you, you can kind of plug along even being a pretty inexperienced rider. The only 2 times I've tipped over out here are times that really my decision making let the bike down. You know, I tried to cut from one side of the track to the other through sand, and it kicked the wheel back, and then I tried to correct and I went into a bush, and then the other time I just ended up in pretty deep sand, and the front just tucked on me when I just ended up slowing down too much. If I had given it more gas or just not been there in the first place, I might have been able to keep it upright, but you know, that's the nature of being inexperienced. So overall, I'd say the bike's pretty easy to manage. I've got the adaptive ride height and the lower seat on there, so I don't have any issues getting my feet down. If I do get the bike in kind of a weird situation in dirt or something, it's hard to back it up, but these guys are here to help me out. So I will say, don't buy this as your first dirt bike and then go alone.
That's not a learner's bike at all, no. And this is not learner's terrain at all, so
you know,
kudos.
It is what it is. Go slow and pick the bike up and keep moving. You know, and that's just what I've been trying to do.
One of the advantages of visiting Joshua Tree in the wintertime is you don't have to deal with the smoldering heat. However, the days are a lot shorter, and so the sun goes down by about 5 o'clock. We already knew we'd be doing about 120 miles in the dark, which is fine. We wanted to maximize our time in the daylight in Joshua Tree. But before we headed out, we definitely wanted to get some of those sunset shots. Top of Geology Trail again. I took one little spill. I was messing around with my cameras and I dumped it. Not too much damage though. Yeah, I tipped over.
Oh, that makes it feel so much better.
Yeah, you're not the only one who went down today, Nick.
Yeah, I went down 300% more than you did.
Yeah, now I went down on the right-hand side, dude. I was trying to mess with my camera, and yeah, I hit some sand and went down on the right-hand side.
Soft bags were a good choice.
Absolutely, yeah. When you started talking, I'm like,
Soft bags have kept it off of my. Every single time I've tipped over, I've been able to crawl out instantaneously. Yeah. The bike's been like perched up high enough too, where it's Like one of the times, like I could have probably picked it up by myself twice, but like the only time I couldn't pick it up was because it was in sand and I couldn't back up because my foot just kept sliding off of me. So I was like collecting rocks while Andrew was coming to rescue me. But the bags help keep it up higher so that when you go to pick it up, it's not
easier,
as far leaned over.
Yeah. The sun was just about down below the horizon, so we decided to make the long trek home. It was about 120 miles, which typically wouldn't be too bad, but around this time when the sun is down, it was getting into the low 40s, which for us weak California boys, it was getting a little bit cold. Jamie and I were running heated clothing, which definitely helped out a lot. And normally 120 miles wouldn't be too bad, but we hit some serious traffic going back west on the 10 freeway. All in all, we definitely had an awesome day in Joshua Tree, and I think all of us fell in love with our bikes a little bit more, and we immediately started brainstorming different places we could go on the adventure bikes. Let me know in the comment section below where you think we should go next. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button to check out my future Harley-Davidson content. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Later.